5 Points, where Duke Ellington played and Billie Holiday sang, where people gathered for a cold drink after a long day's work, where African Americans, segregated by racist housing laws, made a life and a living. 5 Points, where hipsters slur down expensive, if not delicious, craft beers, devour Shake Shack, hit up DJ sets. 5 Points, where Juneteenth is celebrated before, after, and on the 19th. Where tomatoes, collards, and grapes grow. Where modest homes go for immodest prices. It can be hard to tell where the neighborhood begins and ends, but finding its center, that's easy.
The heart of 5 Points is Welton Street.
Fatima Dickerson is the co-owner of Welton Street Cafe. She's also its heart.
Oh, yes you are, okay.
She's the first person you'll see when you walk in the door. She'll probably call you family, and she'll feed you like it too.
So this is really the house signature plate. It's a celebration in your mouth. Okay, if you want to think about the good things about life, this is all of the good things about life.
This.
Oh, I could do this every day.
Yams, mac and cheese, honey hot wings, blue Kool-Aid. If there's a finer meal, we haven't found it.
What I love about this, it reminds me of home. It reminds me of my grandmommy's cooking.
It's just knowing your customer base, what they want. Honey hot wings, they're hot, you know? They're on the market. They're high on demand. That's why we're running out of them. And there's actually no secret to the honey hot flavor. It's just really Frank's Red Hot and honey. There's no secret to it. The secret to it is that we make our own seasoning, and then when you're seasoning a batch of chicken, the oil has flavor. If I make honey hot wings at home, they don't taste like Welton Street Cafe. The oil has flavor.
So if I want these, I gotta come early.
You gotta come, you gotta sneak up to the back door. You gotta say, I know Fatima. You gotta offer Fatima a hug or a kiss or something. Bring me something.
She's kidding, kinda. Demand is as high as supply is low.
Chicken runs out so early because with COVID, we still have a lot of people who are not eating out. They're still taking stuff home. And so they're ordering more food all at once. So you get off the phone, you got 150 pieces. And so there's all the chicken. You know what I'm saying? Like, our storage isn't really big in the kitchen, so we can only have so much.
Catfish dinner.
An outdated kitchen isn't the only thing holding Welton Street Cafe back. The place is a mess right now. Thousands of dollars have been raised to repair the HVAC system, but there's still a lot of work to be done.
You called 7 for help. You asked for help. That takes a lot of bravery as a business owner.
A strong black woman, too.
You know, you basically fought to stay here. Why?
When you think about what this place means to the family and community, what it means to me, this is my big brother, like my big sister, like this is a part of my pulse, you know, so to not have this place be a part of the conversation of who I am is a death. You know that? Welton Street Cafe is the conversation of Denver. It's a part of that. It's a part of the conversation of 5 Points. It's a part of the conversation of Black Denver. You know what I'm saying? And so to be Black in a predominantly white state, we need spaces where we can be Black.
Do you think 5 Points is trying to battle to keep its culture as so many people come in and want a piece of 5 Points?
This means something to a lot of us, you know, and it's for me growing up here, I've seen everything around me change. You know that? When you're like, man, they're gone? Oh, they're gone. What is this about to be? Oh, that's not for Black people. We can call out what's for us and what's not for us. They put that here because they want to make some money. Is it here for community? Like, this is probably a horrible analogy, but I'll offer it to you. When Tom's Diner was back there and he went out of business, he just left. He left. There wasn't a farewell party. There wasn't a give thanks. That's about money. That's not about your people. There is no way I can face the world. You hear me? If we're leaving tomorrow, we going out with a bang. You know, we're giving back, we're giving thanks, we giving hugs. We might be at your next barbecue, you know, but to do stuff like that in a community that deserves more.
Though we wouldn't blame you for trying, one cannot live on Welton Street Cafe's fried chicken and Kool-Aid alone. At some point, you have to cook for yourself. You may even have to eat a vegetable or a piece of fruit. Beverly Grant and her Mobetta Green Marketplace can help with that.
We have grapevines going. We have 2 varieties of raspberries, a red and a white.
Grant is responsible for several farmers markets around town.
I would say my legacy is creating spaces for food to be grown in neighborhoods and then connecting people to those spaces.
She also has a talent for keeping kids busy.
I've been able to touch so many youth through youth employment over the summers.
Her farm feels very Denver. There's an electric car charging in the front of the garden. There is also something called a Tibetan prayer wheel.
In the Charles Cousins Plaza down in Five Points, this used to live right in the center of that circle.
Tibetan prayer wheels may not be something you expect to see in a garden, but there's nothing strange about Grant's operation. What may be strange is that there aren't more like it.
People like me that farm in the city really push the definition of farming.
Do you think there needs to be more funding and more support to create that innovation, to support it?
There's no doubt about it. We can create tons of food in a season in a place like this. Tons of food feed a whole lot of people.
So you started this 11 years ago because this area is a food desert, meaning there aren't grocery stores, there aren't healthy food options to get fresh food. So you decided to grow it yourself. And since then, there's been a lot of development. I haven't seen a grocery store. Are you seeing progress on that front?
There's not a lot of progress that's been made around the creation of more healthy food options, because that requires a couple things. That requires land and space for buildings to exist that house food, AKA stores. And some of Denver's older neighborhoods just don't have that ability or capacity to have vacant land for a store to come in.
So we're doing this to talk about the neighborhood and to also talk about Juneteenth, and it's a celebration of Black excellence and looking back at history. You know, do you think that Denver, or even just America, really knows the history of Black farming and agriculture and the connection to that?
Well, not deeply, no. I believe it was 1911 is when there was a peak in Black farming and land ownership. At that time, they constituted about 13% of all land owned. Today, it's 2%. 2% from 1911, and now this is 2021. That's really sad, you know.
Downbeat note aside, we really didn't think we were going to meet someone with a sunnier attitude than Beverly. Then we dropped by Coffee at the Point and met owner Ryan Cobbins.
I consider myself an eternal optimist.
Who greeted us sipping from a mug despite only recently becoming a Java convert.
I wasn't a huge fan of coffee at all. I think I drank a vanilla latte from Starbucks once every 6 months.
Cobbins isn't from Colorado originally, but he's been here for a while, long enough to see it change and know it's different than other places, that it means a lot to a lot of people.
Our vibe in this neighborhood is unlike any other neighborhood. The story that we tell about our rich culture, the Black history and culture, African American history that comes out of this neighborhood, the music element, the jazz piece that comes out of this element, it's just unique.
5 Points has changed a lot, and in the last couple decades, as you mentioned. What are some of the changes, the biggest changes you've seen, and where do you see things kind of going?
Yeah, the biggest changes, there are more people moving to Denver and moving into 5 Points. There used to be, this is an area that was prestigious back in the day, fell off the map, and I feel like there's a strong resurgence of the neighborhood. I remember doing an interview with somebody 8 years ago, and they were supposed to come at 9, and right before they were to show up, they called me and said, "Hey, Ryan, I just got done driving through the neighborhood. This is definitely not a place that I would ever want to work." And then I fast forward 2 more years, and I'm starting to interview people, and they're from other places moving into 5 Points. I'm like, out of all the places in Denver, why 5 Points? They said, my friend lives across the street, and she said this was the place to be.
So you see why Cobbins is an optimist. He doesn't see growth as a downside. He doesn't worry about newcomers cutting into his bottom line. He was a newcomer a few years ago. He knows what they can bring to the neighborhood.
I said, look, gentrification means different things to different people. For me, it means more people moving into the neighborhood that want to come in and pay for the products that we have to offer, which then in turn keeps our doors open, and I'm able to pay the 15 to 16 staff people that most of them live in this neighborhood as well. Gentrification in terms of the infrastructure and irrigation for, the trees that should be planted and, street lighting, that to me is gentrification. The upkeep and upscale of our amenities that every other neighborhood has.
There's a tendency to think of 5 Points as Welton Street. For all intensive purposes, that may be true, but technically, the hipster enclave known as Rhino is in 5 Points. Harlem of the West, not so much. No one is serving Kool-Aid out here unless one of the many breweries that call the area home has made a Kool-Aid flavored craft beer, which honestly is not out of the realm of possibility. But while Rhino can open itself up to jokes, there's plenty to recommend about the place. The food and drinks are good. Everyone seems relaxed. As Juvia Crofts with Rhino Beer Garden notes, there's a reason the area is so popular.
Friday nights are crazy busy, usually, but it's still we try to always keep it a mellow, friendly vibe no matter what's going on. We have the best regulars in the world that are very loyal, and they show up all the time.
Colorado is really known for its beer.
Yeah, it is.
So talk about that. Talk about the beer culture here.
I'm surprised how many people we get that come in that are visiting just to do tours of the beer. Yeah, there's tons of people that come from all over the United States just basically here to drink beer. The beer culture has changed so much. You can't walk down the street right now without seeing 5 or 6 breweries or, tap houses on each block.
It wasn't always like this, of course. Juvia knows that better than most. She's worked in the neighborhood since 1995.
And how has it changed? Because it's you just see this mix of industrial, new,
right,
old.
Right, and it's changed a lot. The neighborhoods have filled up with a lot more families. There's a lot of apartments that are being built and going up, and there's a lot of businesses that have been built. When I first started working in this neighborhood, it was just warehouses.
And is that good? Is it bad?
It's been great. There's parking's a challenge sometimes.
Let me briefly pause to say I'm laughing because the supposedly short drive over here from Welton Street was a rough one. Okay, back to Juvia.
But, it's been great. I work in this neighborhood because I love this neighborhood. I drive to work in this neighborhood. And somehow with all of the buildings going up and all the new places going in, the feel of the neighborhood is still there.
Ah, but which neighborhood?
When people ask us where we are, I usually say right at the end of 5 Points.
5
points has a lot to say, and thanks to the drop, its voice carries. Here with more is my colleague, CB Cotton.
It's in my Dropbox now.
With a big platform.
Did you put that? Where's it at? This one?
So you want to do Doja Cat instead of Chris Brown?
And big personality.
Yeah, let's do that. Ready? 30 seconds. When does summer officially start?
It's no surprise this pair.
Yeah, of course. You always say that it's on your birthday.
Found their home in radio.
Enough already about your birthday. This is the battle that we have. I want to know when summer officially starts.
It's a chance for them to amplify their own voices, sure.
Put a face to the voice.
Instead, they give a voice to the people.
Hit me up on the text line or give me a call, 303-893-DROP. This is an opportunity for us to really lean into the community.
Nikki Sworn, also known as
your girl America Jones, right here on 104.7 The Drop, the people's station for R&B and hip-hop.
Says Denver's hip-hop station, The Drop, prides itself on being listener-supported. The station has been streaming since 2019, and in early 2021, they launched on the signal 104.7 FM.
It's not a corporate entity where everything's programmed out of this cloud and you're told what to play. No, our community gets to lean in and tell us what they love, what they don't like, and how to grow.
And beyond music.
It's the remix, Mooski and Chris Brown. It's Track Star, the remix.
The community also hears themselves, reflected in the DJ staff.
I think that was my number one priority, was to lift our voices.
So Nikki, along with Unique Henderson,
thedrop303.org,
and other black DJs serve as the station's radio personalities.
To talk to the people with the grand rising in the morning, kings and queens, I believe it holds weight. So it's an honor, a dope opportunity, and it's a pleasure to take care of the Mile High City as much as possible.
And what better way than to have people of color talk about the influence of the culture and talk about the music we're creating.
A way for them to engage from a place of experience.
I've been treated like that myself here in Colorado. When I used to live in the South, just by walking down the street, getting pulled over for no reason.
And a way to educate others.
More to show them that this is real. This is going on every single day, and it's still going on today.
Intersecting music and experiences faced by Colorado's communities of color goes back to an ongoing philosophy at the Drop's parent station, KUVO Jazz.
I've been fortunate to be with the organization since almost the inception.
Carlos Lando, general manager of KUVO, remembers the station's early days in the 80s when they broadcasted from here in the historically black Five Points neighborhood.
When KUVO started, we probably had more black folks, Latino folks working for us in one station than all the others combined at that time.
And Carlos was one of the disc jockeys.
You wanted people to know that this is the black experience. I was the Latino in the group, and so I brought that element into it, and we started to bridge those culturally, that cultural bridge a little bit.
Together, through sharing jazz, they also shared insight on the lives of the genre's first creators.
It came from the suffering of African Americans. All this music came from the blues and the church. And if those people had not experienced what they had experienced in their life in this country 100 years ago, 200 years ago, the music would be totally different.
While KUVO Jazz moved in 2020 from 5 Points to new facilities just up the road, he says their commitment to listener needs remains the same.
The deeper level is what you're going to hear is you're going to hear music, conversation that's reflective of jazz in Colorado and jazz in Denver. In other words, when the hosts open up that microphone and they talk about a particular recording or something, generally speaking, you're going to hear a lot of local artists because we have a great talent base here.
And their partnership with The Drop, Carlos sees it as a chance to re-energize the genre.
In order for people to appreciate music at a deeper level, whether it's hip-hop on one side or jazz on the other, you have to find commonalities in the music, whether it's a beat, whether it's a rhythm.
So now, both studios located side by side are doing the work together. Delivering music, uplifting local artists.
While we can play Miles Davis, we can turn around and play Ron Miles, who is a national artist, but is the head of jazz studies down at Metro, and is an amazing trumpet player, and just happens to live here. He's born and raised, came from here.
My favorite artist in the city, I'm gonna say A. Measy. I'm going to say Midas. I'm going to say Trev Rich. I'm going to say Sunset Sessions, which is a drummer DJ set that I do with Rob Tees. Ooh, shameless plug.
The very backbone, one of our main tentpoles is the Colorado independent hip hop and R&B artists.
And they're sharing experiences with their listeners, those that are similar and different.
If you don't identify with me as a person of color, we might have a shared experience. Maybe it was an educational experience that we shared together, or maybe it was just a love of an artist that we play.
It's what happens when you step behind the mic and give a voice to the people.
450 in the Mount High City.
5 Points has changed a lot over the last little bit.
And within the last, 5 to 8 years, it has blown up completely.
Some people have moved on.
It seems like we're being pushed more northeast kind of area.
Others have moved in.
These investors come in and they put down cash and they put down the trump card. If it's priced right, it's gone.
All of this is to be expected. People may not change all that often, but they certainly change locations.
We built a house down here because we saw the revitalization that's coming here.
And certainly 5 Points can withstand a Shake Shack. It can handle 10 breweries.
All of the new businesses and different people coming down here is growing a lot. So I'm quite proud of my neighborhood.
It can stand that because places like Welton Street Cafe are still standing.
We belong here and we've earned it. So whether we are tenants or whether we are owners, we will be in 5 Points.
If someone builds a Starbucks, it will do well. But everyone will know where the coffee is really on point.
I like the adage of 5 Points being the soul of the city. Like, we are the soul of Denver.
5 Points can and will continue to grow.
This will outlive me. It'll be here. It'll be the gift that keeps on giving when I'm been in heaven a long time, but it'll still be here for the community.
Not to spite its roots, but because of them. For Denver 7, I'm Jessica Porter.